Hello, this is Unit 5 Module 1 Session 2. The name of this home connection is Reviewing Area and Perimeter. Please put your name and number on this paper. It's a two-pager. Let's dig in. So it says find the area and perimeter of each rectangle. Area is the total amount of space covered by the rectangle. Perimeter is the distance around the rectangle. So sometimes you can think of areas like how many squares fit inside, because you can see these all have been divided into squares, whereas perimeter would be like if you were going to walk around the entire thing, what is that distance? Okay, so they did the first one for you. Perimeter would be all of the sides added together, so a 3, a 5, a 3, and a 5. When they added that together, they had 16. The area, however, to figure out how many squares this takes up, you could do it the long way and count every individual square, and you would get 15. The faster way is to take how tall it is by how wide it is. 3 times 15 is the same as counting these 5 3 times. Or you could think of it as counting these 3 5 times. So multiplying is going to be quite a bit faster. Okay? So as we go into A, let's take a look. Perimeter is going to be walking around, so I'm going to go all the way around this shape and add them all together. So I have a 4 and a 4. If you're not sure what the opposite sides are, they're going to be the same. So this would also be a 4, and then the opposite would be a 4. So then if I want to find the perimeter, I add all of those together. If you want to include the equation, it would be 4 4s added together, which is 16. Or wait, should be 4, 8, 12. No, we're good. Okay, and then the area, like we said, was how tall it is times how wide it is. So that would be 4 times 4. And interestingly enough, we get the same answer. What we have to be aware of is that if we're doing perimeter, we're just going to have basic units. Okay, so if it were centimeters, you'd write centimeters. If it were inches, you'd write inches. So they are just units. However, when we're talking about area, think of it this way. I'm trying to figure out how many squares fit inside that, right? So it's going to be square units. Okay? Now, normally I would do a few more examples with you, but perimeter and area are not going to change in these next two problems. So I'm going to let you add all of the sides to get your perimeter, and then multiply the height and width to get the area. Just double check your units. And the example has it for you. It shows you perimeter is going to be measured in units, area is going to be measured in square units. Okay? The challenge question on here says find the area and perimeter of this shape and show your work. There's a really good chance we can find this perimeter without too much challenge. They gave us a majority of the sides, that we're missing some of these sides that don't have opposites that match. Because I know that this side is 8, but this side is this plus 2, which equals 8. Okay, so if I were to maybe just put kind of a little imaginary line in here, just to kind of represent that, and I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't go too much over. But we know that like this whole line, well, that seems like it's a little short, would be 8. But the issue is that my line, this here, doesn't go all the way. But I do have this line here, which is 2. Right? So 2 plus whatever this length is here has to be 8. 2 plus what is 8? Well, 2 plus 6 is 8. So I know that this side is 6 right here. We could use the same idea with this opposite side to this 8, because I have an unknown number here, but I do know what this 3 is. And if I kind of filled in this square with a little imaginary line, once again, I know that this entire line is 8 because it's the opposite side, okay? But I do have a 3 right here. So what I could say is 3 plus whatever this is equal to 8. 3 plus what is 8? 3 plus 5 is 8. So this has to be a 5. Now when I go in to find my perimeter, I can add 8 plus 5 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 8, and I'll have the perimeter. And I will let you do that on your own. But how are we going to find the area? That's when we're going to have to get a little creative, and there are two ways we can do it. If I ignored these two lines and I went with my imaginary lines, this shape is actually pretty easy to figure out, isn't it? It would be 8 times 8, right? And we know 8 times 8 is a math fact. We get 64. But I can't count this. This little imaginary square that I made. I can't technically count that. So what if I took this 2 times 3, found the area of this, and subtracted it? 3 times 2 is 6. So I could take 64 minus 6 and get 58 square units. Okay? If you wanted to do it maybe the longer way, because it's kind of, you don't feel comfortable, like maybe imagining more and then subtracting it, is you could think of this as smaller squares or rectangles, and that would be fine. Now I have 3 rectangles to work with. And I know that this is a 3 because it's opposite of this 3. I know these are 6s, okay, so that's good. I know these are 5s and these are 2s. And then the opposite of this is a 6, right? This length here is a 6. And this length here is a 5. And so then I could do my math that way. 6 times 5 is 30. I'll just write it in. Ooh, I'll write it in a different color. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 3 is 18. And then 5 times 2 is 10. And if I add 30 plus 10 plus 18, I would get 58. Same units. It is a few more steps. It doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it the worst way to do it. But I saw an opportunity to maybe just do 2 problems. The big one minus the little one. This requires you to do 3 sets of area and then add those 3 together. So no, I wouldn't say either is better than the other. You should go with your gut and what you feel comfortable doing. But it's good practice to be flexible. You can make sketches to help solve these problems. Make sure you use your units. It says the classroom rug is 9 feet long and 8 feet wide. I am a very visual person, so I am going to draw a rectangle. It won't be to scale, but we know that one side is taller and one side is shorter, right? So I have one that's 8 feet by 9 feet, okay? It says, what is the total area of the rug? Well, we know that area equals how tall it is times how wide it is. And don't forget that your answer is going to be in square feet. Okay, I'm going to let you do that one on your own. The perimeter, ooh, I feel like this is a little blurry. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Not as clear as I'd like it to be, but we might have to live with it for right now. Ooh, it's even having trouble focusing on things that are closer. Okay, well, we're going to move on. Perimeter, it's the same shape, right? Perimeter is distance around, so make sure you do your 8 plus your 9 plus your 8 plus your 9, and don't forget that you're measuring feet. Chrissy is going to make a big painting on a piece of wood that is 4 feet wide and 7 feet long. Big piece of wood, that is. 4 feet by 7 feet. What is the total area of the piece of wood? Once again, it's how tall it is, that's height, times how wide it is. Don't forget, since we're measuring feet, our units have to be square feet. Okay, you can do SQ period. That's totally fine. And then it wants you to find the perimeter, and you're going to do that in feet. Okay. The school playground measures 465 feet by, wow. Big playground. 285 feet by 465 feet. It says, what is the perimeter of that playground? Well, I'm guessing it's going to take you a little bit, and you're going to have to do some carrying if you use the standard algorithm. But you are going to add all 4 sides up and make sure that your units are feet. Now, I'm not helping you too much in this one, but I'm trusting that you can do those 2 things, right? area, which is height times width, square units, and then perimeter, which is adding up all the sides. Okay? If you have questions, make sure you ask a trusted math wizard. Teachers love to answer questions about math. Check you later.